Okay, we're back and we're on page number 12. You look down in the lower right-hand corner. This will be on PowerPoint slide 12, but you're going to be watching this on YouTube, I think. So this is in your little book. This will be little xxiv, page 12. The program goal. This begins in kind of the latest of educational pedagogy. The way you read this little matrix is from right to left. So let's take a look at LW1, which is worship leader number 1. Starting over the left, the benchmark is usually where you start. It says, is unsure what church-wide canons mean, and then one progresses from benchmark to milestone to capstone to competency. And so competency means knowledge of church-wide canons applicable to worship leaders. And so those are going to be I gave you a URL to the Journals of Convention. You can go to the archives and get the current copy of the Constitution and Canons. The latest Constitution and Canons of the Episcopal Church is the 2015 edition. This summer, there will be a revised Constitution and Canons to reflect the modifications made in the canons by General Convention 2018. They're meeting this summer, so for a year or so, 2015 will be the one that's available to us, and then maybe after 18 months or so, they'll get published again on the episcopalchurch.org website, the National Church website. So I encourage you to review these competencies and, just to kind of tick them off. Knowledge and content and use of the BCP kind of goes with public worship. And, excuse me. Okay, back again. I had to sneeze. Then we'll see the matrix continues over on page 13 with other competencies as well. And I think you'll agree that in order to get up front in public worship, these are about the best, you got to know this stuff to feel comfortable for yourself, because one of the hardest parts about leading worship is to be comfortable enough with the worship service so that you are worshiping yourself, leading worship. So it requires a certain amount of grounding so that you're not scared, about whether or not you're going to remember the right things. Let's turn over to page 14. And these are the competencies for the licensed catechist. And I think is what I encourage you to do is just read these over. I hope everybody could get as excited about the catechist as I do. I know it's, if we can't teach people how to make disciples, our congregation is just not going to grow. And I have some other resources that I want to share with you a little bit later on in the process here. So moving on to page 15. Let's move over to page 15. Licensed lay catechist, and here we are on page 15 now. What we're doing is I'm looking right down here. Now wait a minute, go back. Oh, it won't go back, will it? Oh, rats. Okay, well, The basic program design, I wanted to spend some time with this particularly. So if you would just turn over on page 15, and I'll tell you when to turn the page over to 16. Content, since content is for two tracks, lay leader, worship leader, catechist, they overlap. And so there'll be times when you will break apart. Um, to ensure continuity of program, facilitator oversees both formation tracks, chairing every monthly gathering, and supervising the program as a whole. So I guess I'm your program facilitator. Um, Enrollment, we've already been through this, so I'm not going to belabor it. The format. Program's design ensures that it can be completed in 12-month period. Um, yeah, suggestion about timing and so forth. Now I am on page 16. The suggested time is, I guess this assumes a Saturday morning at Camp Weed, but that's just not going to work for us. And with the parents with small children that we have, and gosh, we got kids all over the place. We got elementary age and middle school and high school. And, everybody's like the proverbial one-armed paper hanger. So we're going to meet on Sunday afternoons. We'll do 3 to 7 and just have a working meal. See, there's an hour out there in the middle of the day for a meal. And then please make note that down here on the bottom there are some required texts. Book of Common Prayer. Gee, hope you got one of those. If you don't, you might want to get a large print, a hardcover. Um, it's easier to write in a large print. You'll find that comes in handy. Now, the HarperCollins study Bible, there's nothing wrong with that Bible right there. But what it does is it focuses on um, contemporary biblical studies from the Journal of Biblical Scholars, or from the Society of Biblical Scholars. And it might not be as helpful to you, though I'm not going to say don't buy it because I've got it. I mean, I own it. But you may find something like the NIV Study Bible. Yes, it's in the New International Version. But if you go to BibleGateway.com, BibleGateway.com, what I do is I just go to the NRSV, and you'll see that when you get to BibleGateway.com, you can buy the NIV study notes to go along with the NRSV and a bunch of other study Bibles too. So, I'm not sure about the HarperCollins Study Bible, but whether it's available on Bible Gateway. But as I say, it's worth having. Now, Episcopal questions, Episcopal answers. I guess I got that book at home. That's Amazon. Get it from Amazon. The Gretchen Pritchard's book. I'm not sure if she's a Pritchard or if she's a Pritchard. But at any rate, her book is available on Amazon, Offering the Gospel to Children. I own that one myself. Westerhoff's book on living faithfully as a prayer book people. It's an older book, but Westerhoff's a real Christian formation guru. And, his stuff is good. And of course, the bishop likes this book. So, you never go wrong reading a book that the bishop likes. And then Jesse Zink, A Faith for the Future, Church's Teaching for a Changing World. This is the latest in the so-called teaching series that are available through in the Episcopal Church. I'm pretty sure that, like the New Church's teaching series, it wasn't really authorized by the church, like General Convention didn't say, "Hey, y'all come up with a new teaching series." It wasn't that way at all. But you find this stuff usable, very usable. Okay, so those are the required texts. You can get them all on Amazon, including the Book of Common Prayer, as a matter of fact. So go ahead and grab those things. Now, let's just take a pause here before we head into the next section called the Introductory Retreat. Okay, we're back again, and now we are on page 17, that next page. And we began with the introductory, the part called the Introductory Retreat, and we'll follow this format at any rate, because it would begin each of our sessions with morning prayer and end each of our sessions with one of the other daily offices. This particular section happens to use morning prayer and evening prayer, but you need to be familiar with noonday prayer and Compline and order for evening, and the daily devotions that are in the prayer book, because in the first place, morning prayer, you'll need to be able to you'll need to be able to come up with bulletins for Sunday services. And not always, but sometimes we'll learn our way around the prayer book, and including how to come up with how to come up with bulletins for Sunday services using the lectionary, getting the lections right, and all that sort of thing. So what we're going to do is right now we're just going to page through the morning prayer service. There's nothing like leading it to use it, and we'll unpack some of the mysteries of all of that. Now, I want you to get over to page 23, because there are some videos here that we watched that I hope you will watch too. I'm a big fan of. There's a YouTube channel called Crash Course, and I'm a big fan of that channel. And one of the videos that you will watch is actually this one right here. Um, uh, it is a brief history of Christianity through to Constantine, or through Constantine. Anyway, it's these crash course programs are slightly irreverent. Um, well, the guy teaches like a contemporary teacher, so to my 72-year-old ears, um, he sounds um, like an iconoclast. Iconoclast, is that the one that busts the icons? Um, but it's just contemporary teaching. A lot of stuff is crammed into these things. So typically, what I usually do is watch them through. This is a very brief. They move fast, and sometimes you have to stop them so you can read all the thought bubbles and everything else. But I find them very, very interesting. Now, the next one down at the bottom of page 23 that is recommended to you is from Khan Academy. And again, this is, it's free internet stuff. And as you can see, heck, this is YouTube we're talking about. The Khan Academy stuff is really good. I thoroughly enjoy it. Now, you usually associate Khan Academy with math, but they're into they do all the AP courses tutoring. So this one on the Introduction to the Reformation is quite good. In fact, all 6 lessons of this particular series, I think you'll find interesting. Of course, I could be wrong, but you know, I'm kind of a history nut, so I find it interesting. Then you'll notice also we're in this section now. You can see that we're in the section called How to Prepare for Module A. So you'll want to make note that it's the 3rd Sunday in May when we get together. Watch this video on Judaism to Constantine, and watch this particular video on Introduction to the Protestant Reformation, and read those questions in Episcopal Answers, Episcopal Questions, Episcopal Answers. And at the end of each answer, you'll find additional questions. So respond to at least 3 from section 7 and 3 from section 8. Bring your responses to Module A program session. So be prepared to show your work. Okay, now we're over here on. Okay, actually what I'm going to do is I am going to break right here and head into the attachments and then get to some comments on Module A in the next section of the video. So with the next section of the video, we're going to be picking up on the bottom of, well, actually, I'm going to go ahead and finish this little article on by C.K. Robertson on the Catechism. Heck, just go ahead and read that, whether you're a worship leader or whether you're a catechist. Just go ahead and read that. It's very simple, very short, and all of us are going to need to be kind of catechists, because the content of the catechism is going to prove to be provide you with the kind of background in the faith that, particularly if you're looking ahead to maybe preaching or something like that, you as an Episcopalian, you kind of need to be pretty familiar with the Catechism anyway. And so let's go ahead and take a look at that. Now, when you pick up on the next section, we're going to start off with page 25 and go to the end of this first section. So I'll see you on the flip side.